Today, in our flavored whiskey series, we're bringing you the full lineup of Crown Royal flavored whiskeys. We're going to go through each of them, and I'm even going to give you a couple of shot recipes if you stick with me to the end. My name's Christina, and welcome to the Liquor Camp. If you're anything like me, Crown Royal is a familiar name. It's one that I've been hearing about since I was a little kid in my grandparents' house, my parents' house, and now in my own. It is actually the whiskey that introduced me into the world of whiskey and spirits, and so it has a very special place in my heart. If you're not familiar with the name, you'll definitely be familiar with the bag. Every bottle of Crown Royal comes in these little velvet bags that just about everybody's familiar with. I saw these floating around my grandparents' house, my parents, just about all of my friends' parents' house. And it housed everything from marbles to hardware to just about change, anything that you could figure to put in these things. Everybody had these when I was a kid. And now that they have started putting out flavored whiskeys, they come in these fancy, pretty colors now. So if you're not familiar with Crown Royal, you're definitely familiar with the bags. So let's talk about these. Now, Crown Royal has their staple whiskey, which is what they call the deluxe. It is a 80 proof Canadian blended whiskey that, like I said, is a staple in almost every home bar. They also have their flavored whiskeys, and that's where we're coming in today. These are the 4 flavors that they currently have on offering: apple, salted caramel, vanilla, and peach. They do have a few flavors that are retired that they've had out in the past: maple, honey. I think there was a Texas mesquite in there at one point. So if you see any flavors that aren't these 4, you're likely either seeing a retired one that you might want to go ahead and pick up for posterity's sake, or you might be seeing a new seasonal offering, because I have seen Crown Royal in the past, especially with peach. That's the one that I'm thinking of at the moment. They brought it out originally as a seasonal release, and it was difficult to get when it was a seasonal release. It now appears as if this is one that they're going to have on offer all the time, but in some areas it can still be pretty hard to find because it is a fantastically popular flavored whiskey for Crown. It has that very candy peach ring flavor. It goes really well with tea and in other summer cocktails and spring cocktails. It's a really good flavored whiskey to have, and it's definitely one of our favorites of the peach flavored whiskeys. The other one that is pretty stinking popular is the Crown Royal Regal Apple. This has a Jolly Rancher sour apple flavor to it. It is fantastic in cocktails. It's wonderful to drink on its own or even mix with like a ginger ale or a Sprite even. It's a wonderful one to have, and it is a very popular choice for Crown Royal. So both of these are really sweet. The peach and the apple have that great candy flavor to them. They're great in cocktails, and they're super, super popular. They're not technically my favorite of the 4 flavors, but they are favorites for a lot of people. Salted caramel is one that is a little bit more my speed because it has a flavor in it that blends super well with the original whiskey. You know, if you know anything about whiskey, when it's aged in the barrels, it usually pulls out caramel notes and vanilla notes. And so the combination of salted caramel and whiskey, and the combination of vanilla even, really lends itself with the flavors that are already in the whiskey. Salted caramel is a super sweet whiskey, but it has that, it gives it a little bit of a deeper flavor of whiskey in there. So I really enjoy this because I am a whiskey fan. It has a little bit of a saltiness to it too, because obviously it's a salted caramel. It's really enjoyable one to have. I would keep this run around mostly for cocktails. I don't know that I would drink this on its own per se, but it's definitely a great addition to an apple or a good rounded holiday cocktail. My favorite of the 4 that I've got in front of me is Crown Royal Vanilla, and for the same reason that I liked the salted caramel. Crown Royal Vanilla infuses a Madagascar bourbon vanilla into their whiskey. And again, it has a flavor that lends itself to the natural flavors in the whiskey. So I really, really think this is a great blend, and it is a wonderful, rich vanilla flavor in it. fantastic choice. I like all 4 of these, but those 2 are my favorites. I do definitely want to say that even though I have my favorites, all 4 of these flavors are really good flavored whiskeys to have. The Crown Royal Peach ranked really high in our peach flavored whiskey video, and so did the Crown Apple. So they've done a really good job consistently offering good flavored whiskeys. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend any of their flavors, to be quite honest with you. And if you see a new one, I would definitely tell you to pick that one up. They're very responsive to their customers, and they retire the ones that aren't doing so well. So do not hesitate to pick up Crown Royal flavored whiskeys. If you like flavored whiskeys, please go ahead and check out our other flavored whiskey videos in our flavored whiskey series. Hit that like, and please definitely hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Now, I promised you some shots, so let me bring those out. As promised, I am back with the shot recipes. Now, granted, the 2 other flavors that are not up here are my favorites, but Crown Royal Apple and Crown Royal Peach are phenomenal flavored whiskeys, and they're great in cocktails, and they're super, super popular. So those are the ones I chose to use today. The first one is Washington Apple, or the version of Washington Apple that I'm gonna use today. It is 1.5 parts Crown Apple and 1/2 part of cranberry. Now again, if you've seen our other videos, you know that we never like to do shots alone, and we don't think you should either. So I am bringing back my other half, Rocky, to share these shots with me. This is the Washington Apple. Wonderful. Refreshing. The next one I have up for you today is the Nutty Peach. This one is 1 part Crown Royal Peach to 1/2 part of Amaretto. Now, I love Di Serrano, so that's the one I'm using, but you could use any Amaretto that you have. The Nutty Peach. Cheers. Favorite part of these videos. Thanks for joining us today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. And again, please subscribe, and we'll see y'all back here at the camp.